Hey, listeners, we are back, this time with our first ever returning guest, Mr. Chaz Hebberd of Jock Talk fame on Patreon. For as low as $1 a month, if you listen or if you contribute to us on patreon.com/jockandnerd, you get tons of bonus content. One of the things we do weekly during college and NFL football season is we record Jock Talk, and that's hosted by Chaz Hebberd and I. Chaz Hebberd has also done a Jock Talk episode here on the Spinoff Show. We're doing another Jock Talk episode here again on the Spinoff Show where we're talking about college football, NFL, UFC. But the other reason I wanted to have Chaz back on the Spinoff Show is he recently just had his first amateur MMA fight. And I promised him that with good health, hopefully, he would be able to come on the Spinoff Show and talk about that experience, being in a cage and fighting another human being. So he had some pretty decent health coming out of the fight. And I was able to set up some time to have him discuss the fight. So on this particular episode of the Spinoff Show, we recap Chaz's first ever MMA fight, amateur MMA fight, and then we go into a regular episode of Jock Talk. Hope you guys enjoy it. I really enjoyed getting with Chaz, and I thank him for coming on and bearing his soul about the first ever MMA fight he's ever had. So check it out. This is the Jock Spinoff Show. Hey guys, we are on the Spinoff Show, actually, not on Jock Talk. We're for the mass audience. And I got on Chaz Hebberd, the first repeat guest ever, who's a little under the weather. Chaz, what's going on?
Yes, I unfortunately have the flu.
Jeez.
Which I discovered shortly after my fight on Saturday.
So we might as well just get into that. You had a fight. That's why I'm having you back on, is you had a fight.
Yeah, so I had my amateur MMA debut at heavyweight here in beautiful Pueblo, Colorado. Didn't go my way.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. What happened? Did you win or lose?
Didn't go my way. So I went in there, and everybody had kind of told me, like, once you get in the cage, you don't think, you just do. And I didn't believe them, and that is very true. Once that bell rings and you tap gloves with your opponent, kind of all thoughts go out the window. And so my game plan was to stay long, use my jab, kick the leg.
How big was your opponent?
He was shorter and stockier than me.
So, wait, how tall are you, and what you weigh in at?
I'm 6'3". I weighed in at 253.
Jeez, you're a big fucking boy.
I'm a large fella, corn-fed. And he was right at 6 foot probably, and he weighed in at 246, I think. So I was a little bit bigger, but I had a pretty significant advantage in reach. So I wanted to stay away from him because I knew he was going to try to grab me and make it ugly.
Yeah.
And I didn't do my
Was he
thing.
older than you?
I think he was older, yeah. I'm not really sure. I didn't do my thing. I did his thing. So first round, we kind of just slugged back and forth. And I sent him into orbit with an uppercut with about 10 seconds left in the first round.
So he was off his feet.
Yeah, I launched him. I thought I knocked him out. So he hits the canvas. I look into his eyes, and there's nobody there.
But before that, though, was the first round mostly grappling, striking?
So this is kind of how it went. He landed first, and he landed with like a right hook. I jabbed, got away from him. It didn't feel good.
Okay.
And then I would throw a jab and start trying to set up combinations, and he would grab me before I really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would grapple for a little bit in the clinch, throw a couple knees, throw a couple hooks, and then I would exit, and we'd kind of just do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I broke his nose and cut his right eye.
Jeez.
Before the uppercut. Dude, this dude is a fucking tank, because I hit him with everything I had, and he just ate that shit up. And so I hit about 10 seconds left in the first round. After just a brawl, there was no breaks. It was just
nonstop.
Yeah, just banging the whole time, which is not what I wanted to do. That's exactly the opposite of what I wanted to do. I hit him with an uppercut, He hits the ground. I look into his eyes. There's nobody there. He kind of just rolls over onto his stomach and bellies out. And I jump on him and hit him with a hammer fist, hit him with another one. I look at the ref like, all right, you're going to pull me off now, right? And he did not pull me off.
Wow.
And so I hit him a couple more times, and I don't think I breathed. I don't think I took a single breath that last 10 seconds.
Oh, shit.
So
you just probably got, your adrenaline just took, you just got so excited.
Yeah, so I get up and go to my corner. He gets up and goes to his corner. The ref calls the doctor in to come check out his eye. So at this point, I'm thinking, I can't believe he didn't stop the fight already. Sends the doctor to his corner. Is like, oh, the doctor's going to stop the fight. We're good.
Right.
Doctor doesn't stop the fight.
Wow.
Sends us back out. And I looked at my coach and I was like, I don't know if I can do that again. I was gassed out. Like,
and these are 5-minute rounds, right?
3 minute. 3 minute
Oh,
rounds.
3 minute. Okay,
Yeah,
shit.
3 minute rounds.
But all like everything's is in amateur fights. Is everything legal in the normal rules, or
You cannot knee or elbow to the head.
okay?
Actually, in amateurs, there's no elbows at all.
No elbows at all.
And
okay.
then you can knee to the body, but not to the
Not to the head. Okay.
Yeah. Which didn't matter for us because we threw a couple knees in the clinch. I threw one body kick, and that was it. And other than that, it was just hooks and uppercuts for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Just meathead shit. So we come out for the second round. I was like, well, if he's still hurt, like I got to finish him now. I can't go a whole round.
Right.
So I unloaded on him again. He kind of ate him up and then took me down up against the cage and kind of just little rabbit punches, and I couldn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped the fight.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was it a bad stoppage, or were you just so gassed that it was like whatever?
It was bad in the way that like, if you had looked at the two of us after the fight,
right?
I did not look like the guy that lost. Like,
right.
So I went back to the locker room and threw up, but then after that,
really, because you were so so gassed and just
so gassed. But other than that, I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of the cage and had to go to the ER and have his nose fixed and his eye stitched back together.
Jeez.
So like, I don't know. I felt like I obviously did more damage in the fight,
right?
But it wasn't really a bad stoppage because he took me down and the ref was like, defend yourself, improve your position. And I couldn't.
Was he mounted on you?
Not really mounted. So he took me down and I got up against the cage, and then I got to all fours and he kind of was pinning me up against the cage. He wasn't really mounted on me. He didn't have a way to get hooks in or anything like that. And so I had to keep my left hand up against, my right side was up against the cage. So I had to keep my left hand up to defend my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time he would stop punching and I would put my left arm down to try to push up against the cage, he would throw more punches. So I was just kind of stuck and the most exhausted I have ever been. I
bet. I mean, had you wrestled before this?
Yeah, I'd wrestled for a long time.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so I was used to like that kind of, I thought I was used to that kind of like exercise, I guess. Like, because you get more tired in wrestling than in any other sport.
Absolutely. That was the most tired I've ever been when I would wrestle. Yeah,
and this was like that, but worse. And I don't know how much, like I said, I found out Sunday, the day after the fight, that I have the flu.
That had to have affected you.
Because training leading up to it the week before, like I wasn't getting tired in training.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't have gassed out like that.
Well, also your adrenaline is like at another level.
Definitely.
Like the fight or flight risk. Yeah. Like you're actually in there to hurt somebody.
Yeah. And like I said, there was big gaps in the fight where I just didn't breathe at all. Like,
but I would have to think that you having the flu, you had the flu probably during the fight, or like it was coming on, and that couldn't have helped.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So a bunch of people have been asking me like if I plan to keep fighting and stuff like that. I don't know. To be honest, I was not having a good time at any point.
Really?
In the cage. Yeah, like so when I had the upper hand and he was cut and he was bleeding all over the place and I was still like 1-2 into him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like stressful. I was like, go down already. Like,
yeah.
And then I also like felt bad. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a ton of fun.
I could see like if I'm probably never going to do that, but I could see myself feeling the same way. Like, man, I don't want to really hurt you, man.
And he was
down.
he was a really cool dude too. So it's not like I didn't have any animosity to that guy. Like, and he wouldn't go down, and so I had to keep hitting him, and I didn't really want to.
That's the thing about this sport is it's part sport, but it's part like kill, right?
Yeah.
Like there's got to be like if
you
you're
have
already
that killer instinct,
right? Yeah, if you're already in the cage and you're like punching this guy and you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't know. Me being armchair expert over here, I don't know if this is necessarily the move to keep doing it.
No, yeah. So I don't know. I do enjoy training a lot. I love it.
Yeah.
So I plan to keep doing that. Our coach just texted our gym group chat that he's retiring.
Oh, wow.
Now. So, see, drama. So I'm probably going to have to find a new gym. But
oh, no.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. I plan to keep training. I don't think I will fight anymore, but it also put like a lot of unnecessary stress on my family. My mom didn't talk to me for like a month and a half. So.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet like all of that though probably led to not only you gassing, but like your immune system being so weak that you'd caught the flu. You know, like the stress of your family and the stress of like all the stuff around you being stressful couldn't have helped.
Yeah, definitely probably had a part of it. My nieces had the flu the week before.
Oh, man.
I was talking shit to them about how I never get sick.
Wow, knock on wood, huh?
Pansies, and then
Look at
I
you.
ended up getting it. Yeah. So I kind of deserve it.
Yeah, well, are you happy you did it?
I'm happy I did it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I think if I hadn't done it, I would always think I was a tough guy that could get in there and take somebody out like that. But now that I've done it, I know that it's not all it looks like from the outside. There's a lot of different emotions going on in there.
Right. What were some of the emotions leading up to getting in the cage?
So nervous, man.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I remember, nervous. Like I said, I can't fully relate, but I was always super nervous even just before wrestling meets.
Yeah.
And that's not including
that
punching.
You get, like when the announcer announces that you're next on whatever mat for like a wrestling tournament.
Yeah.
It's like that, but way worse.
I bet.
Way worse. Yeah, I had and then I was fighting in my hometown, so I have a bunch of friends here, people that I know. I was fighting in front of my fiance, so.
Oh, man.
It's just like, it's a lot of pressure.
I mean, looking at it from this perspective, it's like the best loss you could have had, right? Like you knocked the guy down, you damaged him, you probably you don't feel like you took too much damage, right?
No.
Like, was anything hurting after other than you having to throw up in your lungs?
The only thing that could have gone better is if I got a W instead of an L.
Right.
I'm not hurt at all. My ear is a little bruised and my jaw is sore. Mm-hmm. I don't even have a black eye. Didn't get any cuts. Yeah, and then other than like spending pretty much up until right this second puking, I've been fine. Which I'm kind of wondering if I'm associating the feeling of having the flu with fighting, because I was probably feeling that kind of sickness even before the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe I'm confusing my nerves a little bit with that, but
maybe, yeah. I mean, I know stress, any sort of stress makes you more susceptible to catching things.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't get hurt in any way, so it really didn't go that badly. I didn't get embarrassed. Didn't walk out there and get knocked out right away or anything like that. So.
And did you go to the doctor? Like, did you know that you have the flu because you went to the doctor?
No, I didn't end up going to the doctor.
How do you know you have the flu right now?
I've had concussions before, and the doctor ringside checked me out for a concussion.
Yeah.
And said I didn't have one. And then the next day my head didn't hurt, but I woke up the next day. I spent the whole night puking. That's why I thought I had a concussion. And then I woke up the next day. I've got a fever, got the sweats, all the flu type things.
Are you bundled up right now as you do this?
Yeah, I'm in. There's one room in our house that just gets super hot, and I'm down there, and everybody else is upstairs. It's snowing really hard, right?
It is? So, jeez.
So it's super cold, but I'm staying in this room like under a blanket and shit.
In amateur, you don't get paid anything, right?
I made $35.
Hey.
Yeah. So you get commissions off of the tickets that you sell. That's just kind of depending on which promotion you fight for, what they decide to give you. We made $7 a ticket.
Okay.
So I sold 15 tickets. I made $135, and then I bought 2 tickets, which cost me $70. So then I ended up making 35.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did your parents go to the fight?
My parents didn't go.
A little too much for them.
I think my dad wanted to go, but they had plans for this weekend, kind of way out in advance, and I waited for a while to tell them that I was doing this.
Right.
And my mom would not have wanted to go.
Right.
But my dad kind of wanted to. He texted me about it and wanted to know how it went and everything. And my mom has not brought it up really, so we're probably just gonna act like that never happened.
I can relate to that too. My when I was wrestling, my dad wouldn't let my mom even go because he just knew that she would be a hysterical mess. And I know if I ever got into a fight like that, she would not be happy either.
Yeah, my mom loved us wrestling.
Yeah.
And she went to all the tournaments and all that, but this is
this is different.
Yeah.
I mean, her son could have got hurt.
Right. Yeah, and she also just doesn't care about the sport. She thinks MMA is a dick measuring contest. That's what she called it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she thinks it's foolish and boy stuff.
Well, it's all the girl. Did you tell her you're like, hey, girls fight now too?
No, I'm not gonna argue with her. She can think what she thinks.
Yeah. Well, too bad, man. I wish I mean, at least it went well up until the loss.
Yeah. There's a video. It's not very good. The promotion is supposed to put out a more professional one. So if I get a hold of that, I'll send it to the group so you guys can all see it. The one that I've got now, you can't see. Like my coach was videoing it from the cage and not paying attention, so it's just the empty side of the cage half the time.
Oh, geez.
But
you'll have to. If anyone wants to see it, hopefully you can throw it on the Jock and Nerd Nation private Facebook group. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to get something a little bit more professional up there.
Yeah. I was gonna say any final thoughts on the fight or any final reflections. It looks like you are kind of on the fence of not doing this again. Yeah,
I mean, at this point, like, there's no real way for me to make any real money doing this.
Right.
And
it's just brain damage, really.
Yeah, it's just a chance to get brain damage. And like I said, I didn't have a real good time.
Yeah.
So I did it. Cross it off the bucket list.
How did your girlfriend feel about all this?
She hated the idea at first. She's actually related to my coach, which I didn't know that until after I'd been training with him for a while. But so once she kind of saw like how seriously I was taking it and how much I was going to training and how much work I put into it, she kind of calmed down.
How often were you going to training?
So, and honestly, this was a really kind of a bad camp too. So it didn't always go this way, but on a perfect week, we had practice at 5 a.m. all five weekdays. And then on the days that I didn't work, so Tuesday and Wednesday, I would go in for another 2 hours in the evening.
So 5 a.m. and then in the evening sometimes.
Yeah.
Jeez. 5 a.m. Are you a morning person?
No, so I work nights too.
Jeez.
So I usually don't go to sleep until midnight, and then I'd have to wake up at 4:30, go to the gym, come home, try to get some more sleep before the kid wakes up. Kind of do that all over again.
Yikes. Well, I'd imagine that also kind of ran your body down too.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I didn't ever push it too hard. If I was really struggling to get up, I would just turn the alarm off and go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, our coach just retired, and he was obviously having some thoughts about that during this camp because he canceled class in the morning quite a bit and didn't show up a lot and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well,
the other thing I learned about MMA is there's a lot of drama that goes on, a lot of gym drama, a lot.
Oh, okay.
Part of it is that in this area, there's kind of a small incestuous MMA scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody at every gym has crossed paths before a few times, and most of the coaches have trained together with other coaches and stuff like that. But yeah, so we had kind of a smaller gym. with a coach that we all thought was going to kind of stay away from all that stuff, but of course he didn't. And we had fighters getting mad at the coach, and that would cause drama, and people would get kicked out of the gym and brought back in. And this is all weeks leading up to the fight. Like our best fighter on our team was the co-main event, and he got in a fight with the coach, and they pulled him off the card 4 weeks before the fight, and then put him back on the next week. So it's just stuff like that going on the whole time.
That is a lot of drama. I mean, I follow a lot of MMA, so I'm aware of like some of the gym drama, but you being on the inside,
yeah, that's just kind of how it is everywhere, I guess, and it's kind of been going on forever. So.
Well, the thing about MMA is that like you need a team to train, but it's a very individual sport.
Right. Yeah, and we had drama where like one of our guys is pretty high profile, and so he had like a professional camera crew to come in and shoot promos for him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had other guys get pissed off that he was getting all the attention, and
coach
got mad that he was doing that for him and not the whole gym. And it's just stuff like that, kind of nonstop.
So you got to potentially find a new gym because of this, because you like this coach a lot.
But like he said, he's retiring. So right now he said our options are we'll just break it up and we'll all go our separate ways, or he will see if his friend wants to buy him out and take over coaching and keep running the gym. I don't like that guy, so I'm not going to stay. Either way, I'm leaving. Basically.
Okay. Wow.
So, probably see where the fighters in this gym that I like are planning on going and what they're planning on doing, and we'll all tag along somewhere together. I
think it'd be smart to keep training just because it's good for like your health and good to be like physically involved and good to still know how to fight.
Yeah, and I was getting to the point like working out. My whole life had been lifting weights. Yeah, and I was getting so bored with just like lifting weights. So this was what I switched to, and I've enjoyed it a lot more.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well, like I said earlier, man, I wish you would have won the fight, but I'm glad you're okay and not concussed, broken nose, cut eye, any and all of the above. I'm glad it's you're just ego is probably a little sore. And you have the flu. I'm sure we'll get over
mostly
the
flu. Honestly, the flu is what's getting me down the most.
Yeah, I hope you get over the flu pretty quickly. The flu sucks.
So after the fight, I walked to the locker room.
Yeah. Pick
up my phone. First thing I see is a notification from ESPN that Texas had just lost 37-27 to TSU. And I think I just screamed, "Fuck!" And a couple people ran in to check on me. I was like, "No, it's just nothing. It's fine." Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm very upset.
Well, before we get into that.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is the first time ever that I've had to do this, but we have a sponsor.
Oh, you got to make those monies.
Right. Have you ever gambled online before, Chaz?
I've tried it once, yes.
Yeah? Do you like gambling?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I like winning.
Okay. Like winning. Okay. Well, if you think you're a winner, I think you need to, and then you want to, you ever plan on gambling online? There's a site called mybookie.ag.
I used MyBookie once.
Yeah. It's the premier place to bet on all sports, including MMA. They've got the UFC 244 lines up. And then also football, college football, pro football, any and all the above. MyBookie is amazing. And the best part is, if you join right now, MyBookie will double your first deposit. So if you put in $1,000, they'll give you $1,000. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So all you got to do is use the fucking promo code called Late Fees. That's LATEFEES to activate that offer. The promo code again is Late Fees, and they'll double your cash. So visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, and you get paid, Chaz. You get fucking paid with mybookie.ag.
Go get paid.
Go get paid. All right, now we'll transition to the part for any first-time listeners that haven't ever listened to Jock Talk on Patreon. That's patreon.com/jockandnerd for at least as low as $1 a month. You can listen to Jock Talk and a ton of other bonus content. But usually the way this works is Chad takes over at this point, and we just run through some sports news that Chaz feels like talking about. So, Chaz, take it away.
Yeah, so Texas lost.
Texas lost. I'm sorry,
for all you
man.
first-time listeners, I'm a huge Texas fan, and they've broken my heart this year yet again. I don't really know.
Such hype coming into this season, too.
Yeah, and I was hyped for them. I really thought the only loss that we would run into would be Oklahoma, possibly. Didn't see LSU being as good as they were. But, up until this point, I'd taken solace in the fact that we had lost to two really good teams.
Yeah.
In LSU and Oklahoma. And then we lost to TCU, and they're not a really good team.
No. Yeah, that pretty much just ruins any hope of even making it to a
we're not even going to get a really big bowl at this point, I don't think.
A lot of things would have to really fall apart in the Big 12 for you to get to a big bowl bid.
I would think so. And then also kind of ruining the Big 12's chances of getting into the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah.
Oklahoma got upset by Kansas State as well.
What in the world? Yeah, that's not good. Although I think Oklahoma's still... that's not a good loss for sure. But I think...
They've still got a chance.
They still got a shot. If they win the Big 12, hope one of those teams stumbles, which probably... LSU or Alabama is definitely going to stumble. They could maybe make an argument. Depends. We'll see how it goes.
The problem that Oklahoma is going to run into is they don't really have a big win, other than Texas. But Texas isn't that big of a win,
right?
So the Kansas State loss is a really bad one for them.
What they've really got to hope for is that Baylor they beat Baylor twice, and Baylor's goes on wins all the rest of their games.
I kind of forgot about Baylor. Yeah, Baylor's still running around out there, but
they're undefeated, but they haven't really their schedule's been. Okay.
The committee is not going to really view that as a huge marquee win.
Right.
No matter how good Baylor's record is.
Yeah. It's tough. The Big 12 definitely is not in the driver's seat anymore.
No, certainly not. A lot of stuff's got to happen in the SEC for Oklahoma to have a shot to get in. Jim Harbaugh's seat cools down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a tad bit. They beat your Fighting Irish.
Yeah, it wasn't a good week for any of our teams. Although Illinois won, but no one cares about Illinois. Notre Dame did not look good, and if anything, that just makes Georgia's win over Notre Dame just not look all that good. Maybe we overrated Georgia and Notre Dame to start the season because Notre Dame just got pasted by Michigan in the rain.
I think this says a lot more about Michigan than Notre Dame.
Probably.
I think. This is how Michigan should have been playing all year. I think they're better than what they had showed us up until this point.
Very, very possible. They played Penn State pretty close.
Yeah, but
that Wisconsin loss was real bad. But lately they've been playing a lot better.
What did you think about Brian Kelly benching Ian Book?
He was playing awful. I read I read an article on ESPN, and I would definitely be for it. That Notre Dame should seriously start exploring buying out Brian Kelly and putting all the money into getting Urban Meyer to coach them.
Do you think he would?
I don't know. That's the thing. He turned down Notre Dame already. I think was for Florida, right? Or what? No, I forget when.
I'm not sure.
I forget. He had a shot at coaching Notre Dame and he turned them down. That would be like if he could bring Notre Dame and win a championship, that would be the feather in anyone's cap.
Yeah, I can't see him taking that job. I don't know. Maybe.
They've been pretty we as Notre Dame fans, we're always expecting championships. Brian Kelly hasn't been terrible. He's been solid, if not better than average as a coach for them. But they haven't won a ton of really big games under him.
Yeah, I don't have the same opinion as a lot of people have of Notre Dame. I don't think they're the same marquee program that they once were.
Right.
I don't know if they pull that kind of recruiting anymore. I'm not sure if even Urban Meyer gets them there. So. Yeah,
it's tough. A lot of people. Notre Dame still has this aura of being, at least amongst their fandom, a great team, a team that should be contending every year. But a lot of the young kids they haven't won a championship since I think '88, so it's been 31 years. People they recruit haven't been born.
Yeah, they don't remember that.
They were barely a twinkle in their parents' eye. So Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it might be one of those things where a change just for change's sake might be necessary, but I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to get to with NCAA is the NCAA finally passed legislation to start letting athletes receive money for their likeness and name.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that. I mean, it's been a long time coming. What does it mean? Hopefully it means I saw this in the group, or I saw this somewhere related to Jock and Nerd, that the video game comes back. That'd be great.
I would love for the video game to come back. I loved the old NCAA football video game.
That was awesome.
I'm not going to get too crazy with this yet because I think the NCAA had to do this. They didn't have much of an option.
Right.
And they haven't put it into practice yet.
Yeah, we'll see how it even plays out.
Yeah, so I want to see the model that they're going to go with and how fair it is and if they can even make it work.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
NCAA. I know we had written off the the Pac-10 or Pac-12, but Oregon's sitting there at number 7, and these teams up top keep losing. Is there any shot Oregon can crack the Final Four?
There is a chance. They're going to kind of have a similar problem as OU will, where they aren't going to have a really big win.
Right.
They beat Washington, didn't they?
They beat Washington, yeah. They came back and beat. I mean, Auburn wasn't a terrible loss, and Auburn's lost the last 2, but they've been competitive in both of those games.
And they lost to Auburn about as close as you can lose a football game.
Right.
Yeah, they don't play another ranked team.
Yeah.
So there's a shot. There's definitely a chance that they get in, but you're going to see a one-loss SEC team in.
Yeah, I mean, if LSU or Alabama, one of them beats each other, and then the other team still wins out, and the other teams, and then the winner of the SEC champion, there's a very high likely chance that LSU or Alabama with one loss will still get in.
I would take one of those teams over Oregon for sure at this point.
I would even say if LSU loses, if that game is close, LSU is almost a shoo-in to get in because they have such a great schedule.
Just about. They would have to lose again.
Right.
I would say Alabama too because the playoffs almost the Alabama Invitational at this point.
Although Alabama doesn't have a signature win yet.
No, but I don't think because they look so good, the eye test is still, for whatever reason, a part of this.
Right.
They're just because their resume is not the best isn't going to hold them out.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Moving over to the NFL, my Broncos lost on a last-second field goal, and so did your Bears, again.
We missed a last-second field goal.
Right. How does it feel to have kicker woes again?
The thing is, and I wasn't even all that mad at the kicker. I mean, yes, he missed a field goal, but
I think he missed 2, didn't he?
He missed 2. He doinked 1, earlier. That was great. My boy Greg Nagy, with 44 seconds left, at about a 40-yard field goal, with one timeout, decided to kneel the ball and not try to get any closer. So that was great, and then just was super defiant afterwards, like as if this was the only. He didn't even want to talk about it. That's great. I obviously wanted the Bears to win. I wanted them to hit the field goal, but it would have been one of those things where if they hit the field goal, we would have been like, oh man, like Trubisky made a play down the field, like towards the end of the game where he ran for 20 yards, and like we would ignore the fact that I think a lot of people would ignore the fact that he played another terrible game. The Bears were in the red zone 4 times in the first half and only came out with 9 points. They were a disaster once again on offense other than running the football. So, yeah, they have a lot of fucking problems.
Do you think Matt Nagy's days are getting numbered there?
See, I don't think his days are getting numbered there because he's not the guy that was the coach when Trubisky was drafted. So
yeah, I think he'll get another quarterback.
Yeah, I think he will get another quarterback, but his play calling is at times leaves a lot to be desired, and Trubisky had a stretch in that second half where he threw a pick, missed a wide open guy that would have probably scored a touchdown, and then on the next play fumbled the ball without even being hit. So, yeah, Trubisky is further confirming that his days are numbered here in Chicago because, yeah, no one believes in that guy anymore.
Yeah, he has not played well this season, and honestly, Nagy hasn't looked.
No, Nagy hasn't looked good.
A lot of people were really high on him last year, kind of calling him an offensive guru.
Yeah, and he was with the Chiefs too, and they were a bit before Mahomes, and they had a pretty decent offense. But yeah, some of his play calling is just, I don't understand it.
Yeah, the Broncos lost as well. Vinatieri hit freaking 47-year-old man, goes out there and hits a 55-yarder and a 51-yarder with about 10 seconds left.
Jesus Christ.
To beat the Broncos, which, that's kind of what I expect at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
We've now lost 3 games on last-second field goals, though.
So what do you think about...
Jaguars to the Bears and then to the Colts.
What do you think about... I think they're starting a new quarterback, right?
Yeah, so when I... Just reading the headlines, Flacco kind of threw all the coaching staff under the bus.
Oh, no.
And then, the next headline I see is that we're going to sit Flacco and start Brandon Allen. I thought it was kind of a retaliation thing, but it turns out Flacco actually has an injury. He's got a herniated disc in his neck. Brandon Allen's not the answer.
Okay, I was just going to say, are you on the let's start the young guy and see what he can do?
That's what I would be saying if it was Drew Lock, the guy that we just drafted, but he's still on IR.
And Brandon Allen is drafted in 2016 in the 6th round, and he's 27 years old.
Yeah, he's somebody that we picked up late in the season, too. He wasn't there at the beginning.
Right.
So sure, let's go lose some games with that guy, I guess. Doesn't make a difference.
Right.
But this is kind of something interesting that I saw earlier today, kind of a hypothetical situation that involves both of our teams.
Okay.
So the Cowboys have still not signed Dak Prescott.
Yes.
To a long-term deal, which is obviously what he wants. And I think the deadline's up now, so I don't think they can extend until the end of the season. So the hypothetical that I saw was, we've heard a lot of rumblings about Tom Brady leaving the Patriots after this year.
Okay.
So
to retire?
No, just leaving the Patriots.
Wow.
So I think Adam Schefter put out a report.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Adam Schefter put out a report that Tom Brady will likely either leave the Patriots for a new team or retire, or he will re-sign with the Patriots. And he said re-signing with the Patriots is the least likely of those 3 options.
Wow. What? He's just... What's going on?
Schefter doesn't ever just throw stuff like that out. He's hearing something.
Is he just not clicking with Belichick anymore?
A lot of people think that it's the same thing that we thought about Belichick wanting to win it with a different quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Brady wants to win it with a different team and a different coach. Show that he's not just a product of the culture in New England. That's kind of what I think. That's the only logical explanation I can put to it. But one of the big main teams that they're putting with Brady is the Cowboys. So there's a chance that Brady goes to the Cowboys.
Wow.
So the Cowboys would not re-sign Dak, fire Jason Garrett, Josh McDaniels, and Tom Brady would go to the Cowboys.
Wow.
Leaving Dak a free agent. And apparently somebody close to Dak has said the 2 teams that he would be interested in playing for would be the Broncos and the Bears. So, first of all, do you think Brady leaves? And then what do you think about having Dak Prescott replace Mitchell Trubisky possibly?
I'm one of those that I can't see Tom Brady ever leaving the Patriots. So it would be one of those I'd have to believe it when I see it. Even if Schefter said it, I still am like, that just doesn't seem logical. But strange things happen in sports. But if he were to leave and Dak Prescott was, let's take Dak Prescott. Sure, why not? Fuck. He's better than Trubisky. We don't have a first-round pick.
Yeah, you're not going to get somebody in the draft.
Right. I'd roll the dice with Dak Prescott.
That's kind of the way that I feel about it, too. Dak has played pretty well, and both of our teams are the kind of teams that are just kind of a quarterback away. We've got pretty solid defenses, pretty good offensive pieces. As far as the Brady thing, I can't see him really leaving either. I think it's the wrong move if he does decide to leave. But who knows? Anything could happen at this point.
That would be crazy.
Not going to pretend to know what is going on in Brady's head.
No.
That's the last thing I had for football. Did you see the Damian Maia Ben Askren fight?
I did. So I was in New York City this past weekend, but I streamed the fight live at whatever time in the morning that was. So I did see that main event fight.
I haven't watched it all the way through yet. I know the result, though.
It was a good fight. I mean, it was a good fight. So the big hype into this was just these are two of the best MMA grapplers in the world. Damian Maia is a world-renowned BJJ artist, and Ben Askren is one of the best wrestlers collegiately to ever compete in mixed martial arts. So a lot of the anticipation was to see them on the ground, and for a lot of the fight, Damian Maia wasn't looking to take it to the ground. He was actually just the better striker. So you were getting some bad kickboxing, but some decent punches by Damian Maia. But then once they did get on the ground, which was initiated by Askren, that was actually a lot of fun. They were both at times sweeping one another, reversals. Each guy was on top a little bit. And then I think in the third round, Ben Askren took him down, and Damian Maia swept him, took his back, and choked him out. And Askren was trying to tap, and the referee didn't see it, so he went to sleep. So it was a really entertaining fight.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it all the way through. Askren said in an interview afterwards that he thought he was winning.
Yeah, I think he said that. I didn't think he was winning. I thought it was a close fight, but he was definitely losing on the feet, and he was taking Maia down in the second round. But the fight was still pretty competitive on the ground between both of them.
Yeah, Askren in his interview said that he felt like he was definitely winning on the feet. Which, even when he said that without seeing the fight, I was like, I don't know about that, Ben.
Yeah, he wasn't winning on the feet. He was definitely the worst striker. He also said the next day after the fight that he's considering retiring.
Might be a good move for him at this point.
I think so, too. He came in here with a lot of hype, and his whole thing was he wanted to make a run to be the best in that weight class, win a title. I think let's look it up. I think he's in like mid to late 30s now.
Yeah, he's in the later 30s. I think.
Yeah, and for the 35. So, in his 3 fights in the UFC, it can be argued he hasn't looked good in any of them. He almost got his face smashed in the first fight against Lawler before pulling out a submission where Lawler never tapped. He definitely got his fucking head kicked knee to another universe in the second fight. He's holding the record for the worst, the fastest knockout in UFC history, but he's on the receiving end. And then he loses a fight on the ground between two guys who are considered the best grapplers, so he's not even considered the best grappler right now. Yeah, he's a long way from winning a title. And he's already said
that's the only thing he was here for.
Exactly, yeah. He was like, I'm not trying to prove that I'm one of the best. I want to be the best. And at this point, he's like, I could do a lot of other things and not take brain damage. And, things could change pretty quickly, but he's probably a good 3 fights away, at least, from being in a title shot again.
Yeah, at least 3 fights.
At least, yeah.
And then if he comes back up, I would imagine he's going to have to fight either Lawler, Masvidal, or Maia again.
Right.
At some point, and I don't know if he wants a piece of definitely Lawler or Masvidal again.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think Dana White's secretly kind of happy because I don't think he liked Ben Askren. So this kind of can prove... I wouldn't be surprised if Dana White was just like, yep, you're cut now.
That wouldn't really surprise me either. I hope Askren stays close to the sport. I like his commentary. And
I think he's very smart, and I like him too.
But I don't necessarily need to see him fight anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if he himself is like, I was in it to prove that I'm the best, he's a long way away from the title. I don't need to see a non-motivated guy fighting.
Yeah, definitely not. And then I think we've kind of talked about this card. We got a pretty big card coming up.
Yeah, UFC 244. I was just in New York City, so it's a big the BMF title.
I still don't care.
It's between Masvidal, Diaz, or Chaz Hebberd.
No, definitely not me.
No, not you?
No.
Do you think you could take both of them?
Probably not. I am significantly larger. I don't think that it would matter.
Okay. Just wanted to throw that out there. The BMF title. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it being the BMF title, but whatever.
Let's see. The fights I want to talk about on this card. Corey Anderson versus Johnnie Walker.
That's a good fight.
That's a good fight. That'll help us kind of figure out who's going to be next for John Jones.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the whole story on this fight is, will Corey Anderson... First off, we've never seen Johnnie Walker in a fight against a wrestler or just a long fight in general in the UFC. So Corey Anderson's the type of guy to test that. So we'll see. I mean, it could be just a really boring fight where Corey Anderson grinds out Johnnie Walker, and we just realize Johnnie Walker is just super explosive, but not really all that good otherwise. Or maybe we get another lightning quick finish.
Yeah, I actually have. I'm not really sure what to expect from that fight.
Me neither.
Also, not sure if Johnnie Walker's shoulder's fixed yet.
Yeah, that doing the worm and hurting himself. Yeah,
that was crazy. And then Kevin Lee and Gregor Gillespie at lightweight should be a pretty decent.
That's a good fight too. Yeah, Gregor Gillespie is a
Khabib-like style wrestler.
good wrestling. Yeah, very very good wrestling. And Kevin Lee's not a bad wrestler either. And moving back down to 155, I wonder if Kevin Lee can make weight, but it should be a good fight.
Hopefully he does.
Yeah.
We'll see Derek Lewis again.
Yeah, Derek Black Beast.
Never know what to expect from him.
All his fights are just him getting punched or kicked in the body, and then just acting like he's in severe pain, and then just throwing a haymaker.
Pretty much, yeah. And then sometimes it lands, and he ends dudes.
Yeah. I think you could take Derek Lewis.
Does something crazy on the mic. I would never want to find out. Yeah, I'll just leave him alone.
Okay.
And then Stephen Thompson versus
Vicente Luque. That's another good fight.
Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
Getting back in there. I don't know a lot about Luque. I love the way Stephen Thompson fights.
Yeah, Luque's on I think a 6-fight win streak, and he's just a good technical brawler, a good technical striker, good jiu-jitsu, just good everywhere. So it should be another fun fight.
Yeah, that one should be a lot of fun.
If you look up his last fight, he fought Mike Perry, and I don't know if you saw the picture of Mike Perry after.
Nose
yeah,
fight,
where his nose was just insanely smashed. Yeah.
And then Darren Till and Kelvin Gastelum should be another banger too.
Yeah, that's another banger. I don't know why Darren Till is moving up and getting Kevin Gastelum in his first fight.
That's
Kelvin
just
Gastelum.
Mean, isn't it?
That is real mean. I mean, I guess if Darren Till wins, it puts him right away in the picture, but I don't know if he's going to win.
I would be surprised if he wins, especially how good Gastelum looked against the now champ Adesanya.
Yeah, that Adesanya fight just makes him look a lot better.
For sure. I haven't seen a ton of Till, but he's pretty much just a striker, right?
Yeah, he's like a southpaw striker that's kind of really patient, just looks for the big left hand. But his last 2 fights, he's gotten pretty much worked over in both of them and been severely concussed. So maybe the weight cut will help in the fact that he's not... I mean, he's at like a 210-pound dude, and he was fighting at 170, which was insane.
Yeah, maybe the weight cut will help with that, but Gastelum's a pretty tough dude.
Yeah, he's a tank.
And then we've got the main event of Masvidal Diaz. It is
your BMF
Diaz.
title.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win. I have no idea who's going to win this one.
I would lean towards Diaz just because Masvidal tends to get himself into the longer the fight goes, the more he plays into the other guy's game because he just kind of lets the fight happen. So I could see Diaz kind of just overwhelming him. But it's a fucking fantastic fight, and I wouldn't put a ton of money on Diaz.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun. These dudes don't get finished very often.
Neither of them really ever get finished.
So this is probably gonna go all 5 and be kind of a slugfest the whole time.
Yeah, it might be a bloodbath.
I'm gonna go with Masvidal.
Okay, I'll go with Diaz.
Kind of based off recency bias because we haven't seen Diaz too much lately.
Yeah, 1 fight in 3 years. So I'm gonna just go Diaz decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Masvidal won either.
All right. Well, I think that is all I've got for this week.
Awesome. Well, we always close out by greeting the nerds. So see you later, nerds.
Bye, nerds.
This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hello, I'm Tez from the Clock End Talk, and I know what you're thinking. What is a Clock End Talk? Well, I can tell you. We're a podcast about the Arsenal Football Club. Available on all good podcast apps, YouTube, Spotify. You can find us on Twitter at @clockend_talk. So come and join myself, Tony and Schwinn as we discuss the roller coaster of the Arsenal Football Club.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Hey, this is Evan.
Hey, Jason Underwood.
And we hope you're enjoying the shows on the Danger Entertainment Network, now including the Bearded Ones comedy podcast.
Yeah, we're super thrilled to be a part of this awesome lineup, guys. And what we do here on our show is, look, we are just trying to make you guys laugh through all kinds of different avenues.
Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Please.
What we are is we're two geeky white dudes talking and trying to be funny.
Yeah, not try to blow in your mind here with with something brand new, but
You never heard anything like this. We talk about Star Wars. We talk about superheroes.
Talk about Marvel movies, man. Look, we're cutting some we're breaking some damn boundaries over here.
We are breaking new ground.
Yeah.
But for real, what we do is we play invented games.
Yeah, and we try to spin everything into a brand new fun game that we've made up. We filter it all through that sensibility, and
we're both improvisers, so a lot of what we talk about ends up in sort of a scene that we have a lot of fun with. We talk about our lives, pop culture, and movies. We talk about a little bit of everything. So if that's what you like, check us out, Bearded Ones Comedy Podcast on the Danger Entertainment Network.
They look like Vikings.